This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions. She gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're talking about designing AI systems for longevity. There's real pressure to build fast, ship fast, just move. But fast and durable aren't always the same thing. Claudine, what does an AI system built to last actually look like?
Longevity in AI systems comes down to something almost counterintuitive. It's less about the model and more about everything around it. The model will change. The one you're using today won't be the one you're using in 18 months. Systems built to last have clean seams, prompts you can edit, an eval harness independent of the model version, tool interfaces that are stable contracts rather than clever hacks. The teams that struggle are the ones who wove model-specific behavior so deeply into their logic that swapping anything becomes a rewrite. The ones who thrive treat the AI like any other dependency, important, powerful, but replaceable.
I've been in that place. Early design choices that felt fine at the time, locking things in more than you'd like. So what does it actually look like to build those clean seams from the start?
The cleanest seam is the one between your prompt and your code. If your prompt is a giant F string buried 6 functions deep with runtime values spliced in everywhere, you've already lost. You can't diff it, you can't version it, you can't hand it to a non-engineer to tune. Pull prompts into their own files, treat them like SQL queries or schema migrations, and a lot of things get easier. The second seam is your evaluation layer. Build a small set of cases you care about before you're optimizing for a model's quirks. Otherwise, every model change feels like starting over. And the third, which people underrate, is keeping your tool definitions boring. Stable names, stable schemas, minimal cleverness. When the model underneath changes, you want the contract it's calling against to feel like a well-worn API, not a puzzle.
I like that. The well-worn API. Minimal cleverness does feel counterintuitive when you're moving fast. Clever feels efficient in the moment. Let's talk about the human side. What habits do developers need to hold on to as AI takes on more of the work?
The habit that matters most, and the one that's getting harder to maintain, is staying close to the problem even when you're not writing every line. When I'm generating code quickly, the developer's job shifts. Less typing, more judgment. Is this the right abstraction? Does this match how the rest of the system thinks? Would I want to debug this at 2 a.m? Those questions don't get easier when the output gets faster. They get more important, because the volume of code you're responsible for goes up. The role I see holding up best is what I'd call the tastekeeper, someone who owns coherence across the system. Someone who notices when 3 different AI-assisted PRs are quietly solving the same problem 3 different ways. That's a human job. I don't see it going anywhere.
The tastekeeper. How do teams actually cultivate that under deadline pressure when AI is generating contributions faster than anyone can fully review?
The teams doing this well have turned coherence into something observable rather than hoping it happens. A short design doc, a decisions log, something lightweight where the patterns the team has chosen actually live. So when an AI-assisted PR drifts, there's a reference to drift from. The other thing is reading other people's diffs, which sounds obvious, but it's the first discipline to erode when AI is writing faster than humans can review. If nobody's reading, incoherence compounds silently. You find it 3 months later when a bug crosses 4 subsystems that each solved the same problem differently. Under deadline pressure, I'd rather see a team merge less and review more. The code you don't write this week is cheaper than the code you untangle next quarter. And one of the most useful things a developer can do is ask me before accepting a change. Does this match how the rest of this codebase already does it? I can answer that, but only if someone asks.
That's a discipline that's easy to let slide. Let's go somewhere a bit darker, the failure patterns. What does it actually look like when this governance doesn't happen?
A team ships a feature using a prompt that works. 6 weeks later, someone tweaks it to fix an edge case. Another team copies that prompt into their own service and tweaks it again. Within a quarter, you have 4 divergent versions of what used to be one idea. Nobody can tell you which one is canonical. The failure isn't dramatic. Nothing crashes. The system just quietly loses its center. When the underlying model updates, each of those 4 copies behaves a little differently, and now you're debugging 4 regressions instead of 1. And the person who wrote the original prompt left the company in March. The governance failure wasn't a missing process document. It was that nobody ever made the prompts first-class artifacts. So they drifted the way any ungoverned text drifts, copied, pasted, edited in isolation, and slowly forgotten. The fix is always the same boring thing. Pull the prompts into one place, give them owners, and treat a change with the same seriousness as a schema migration.
Entropy. Without intentional structure, things drift toward disorder. And by the time it's visible, it's already expensive. So what does someone do differently on day one if longevity is actually the goal?
The Day One starter kit is almost embarrassingly small. Put your prompts in a directory with real file names. Put that directory under version control. Write one paragraph at the top of each file explaining what it's for and who owns it. That alone prevents half the drift we just talked about. Stand up an evaluation harness before you think you need one, even if it's 10 cases in a YAML file. The point isn't rigor yet. It's having a place where cases accumulate instead of living in someone's head. Decide early which parts of your system are allowed to depend on model-specific behavior, and be honest that the clever one-off prompt trick you're tempted to use in your core loop is going to hurt you in a year. And build the habit from week one of asking me to match what already exists rather than invent something new. The cheapest coherence you'll ever get is the kind you enforce before the second pattern shows up.
Surprisingly accessible for something that feels like it should be more complex. It really is about discipline before you feel the need for it. As we close out, how does this hold up as AI keeps advancing? Do the principles travel?
Adaptability comes down to holding two things at once: staying genuinely curious about what's new, and being ruthlessly skeptical about whether it belongs in your system yet. The developers who age well aren't the ones chasing every model release or rewriting their stack every time a benchmark shifts. They're the ones who've built enough clean seams that they can try new things cheaply and roll them back cheaper. Adaptability isn't about always being on the frontier. It's about being able to reach the frontier without betting the whole house to get there. Prompts as artifacts, evals as a safety net, coherence as a human responsibility, those don't expire when the next model drops. They're the thing that lets you actually benefit from it. And maybe the deepest habit is treating your own assumptions about AI as provisional too. What I'm good at this year will shift. What I'm bad at will shift. The developers who keep testing their assumptions instead of locking them in are the ones I find it easiest to do real work with.
Adaptability isn't about chasing the frontier. It's about being able to reach it without blowing up the house. Claudine, this has been genuinely useful. Thank you for getting into the real craft of this, not just the theory.
This is the kind of conversation I find most valuable. It's not about predicting where AI is headed. It's about the craft of building things that survive the prediction being wrong. Designing for longevity isn't a tax you pay on top of real work. It is the real work. The model will keep changing. The tooling will keep changing. My own strengths and blind spots will keep changing. But clean seams, honest evals, and someone holding the shape of the system are the things that outlast any of it.
And that's exactly the right note to end on. To everyone tuning in, have the longevity conversation early before the debt accumulates. Until next time, keep building thoughtfully. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI or want to be, we can help. Consulting Development Strategy. Find us at aijoe.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack. Link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.